Welcome back. For the first time ever, we're excited about a friendly.
Exactly as Trevin says, a friendly. That's all it is at the end of the day. But as we like to say on this show, it's the USN Day anyway. It's a USA game. We absolutely adore watching the USN Day, no matter the competition.
No matter. It doesn't matter if it's an international friendly like this, or if it's the World Cup or Copa America, etc., etc. But this game was particularly important, not just because it's a USN Day game, but because it's the first game of the new coaching tenure of Mauricio Pochettino.
This guy, we've been waiting for him. We've been anticipating it for a while as USA fans. It's finally his first game.
Needed him 9 months ago, but it's cool.
It is what it is. Here we are now, 2 years before the World Cup. Not really the circumstance. You kind of, like Trevin said, you kind of wanted him 9 months ago.
Yeah.
But here we are, so we take it as it is and we move, all right? He's here, so we're excited. Panama, 2-0 win over Panama. A decent performance overall. Individuals, nothing really stands out in terms of huge mistakes or anything like that. Individual errors.
Yeah, they're starting to get used to this system.
It's new. It's new.
It's nothing that they're going to be able to pick up off rip. You know, like they're going to definitely have to figure out how to play like a team that Poch wants them to play like.
Yeah.
We have some bits and pieces in right now that may not be exactly who we would think are going to be starters potentially in the World Cup games. Right. But they're working through it, and you saw that the ideas were there. The motions, like the ideas were there. Mm-hmm. It popped up in certain moments. You know, you can see that they're starting to get it, but obviously it's going to take some time.
Yeah. It's we see on paper it looks like a 4-2-3-1, if you will.
Yeah.
Aronson, Pulisic on the left. It really turned into like a back three at times of Scally, Mark McKenzie, and Tim Ream.
Yeah.
Obviously Matt Turner in goal, which we'll have to get to eventually. But just the lineup and the formation, things like that. It was almost as if a back three in possession sometimes. Pulisic's really tucking in. Robinson, as he always does, flying up the left wing, up and down.
Well.
He does the work offensively, and he gets back defensively. That's the best thing about him, is he's not some guy who's just going to wait up there or do one or the other. He loves to get up and down the pitch, which I love. So he was able to do that, and Pulisic coming inside next to Aronson, I felt like obviously Josh Sargent up top. Musa just kind of playing like a right mid, right wing back, right wing, like kind of all the above, up and down that right side of the field, because Scally, I felt, had more of a reserved position in this game.
I agree. I definitely think that we saw some of the formation change with the ball as opposed to without the ball. Obviously, without the ball, you kind of sit back and tuck in a little bit. You know, you make sure that back four is organized. But going forward, it was really interesting to see, like I said, the ideas were there of, hey, maybe this person needs to be in this spot on the pitch because it's going to open up this. And I really think Musa and Buzio especially are going to improve dramatically in this team with that right-sided midfielder. If that's the way that they're going to plan on playing, which we don't know if they will be able to, because Dest, I don't think, can play like that. He may be the one that needs to go forward, and Robinson may be the one to fall back. But we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah,
but
that's an
Musa
interesting
and
one.
Buzio, I think, are going to be really, really important, because I don't know about McKinney in that role that we saw Musa yesterday.
I honestly believe, and I can't remember where I read it or heard it or something like that, but somebody said Serginho Dest playing that Musa role is a good idea. I think
agree.
with the system of how it is and attacking, obviously doing the defensive work.
Kind of a trend, if you will.
Exactly.
You know, like
right wing back, right mid, kind of what Musa was doing, because he was obviously getting back, doing the defensive work, kind of helping, tucking in naturally as he wants to do as a central midfielder, alongside Morris and Buzio, who both had fairly really good games, I felt like. But that Musa role, I really think that suits him. I really think when Serginho Dest comes back, his quality, it shows every time he plays for the U.S. Whatever other people outside of the USA think of him, don't really care. For the USA, he is absolutely one of our best players every time he steps on the pitch. unless he's acting like an asshole, getting a
and
red
he gets
card
sent off early
against Trinidad
Neither
and
here
Tobago.
nor there, whatever.
Either way, I could see him in that right wing back kind of in role for the USA when he comes back in, because he's definitely not a Scally. He's not a defensive minded fullback. Scally is more defensive minded. He's able to play center back, right back. He can do that. It's just really interesting to see what it's going to be like. It's
exciting too, because you've got all these different people that we all know and that we all see
that aren't playing.
Because we know that McKinney could work his way back into the team.
Adams
has to work his way back. Tessman gonna work his way back into the team. Tim Weah got his work. Like, there's so many key who you would imagine.
Gio Reyna.
So many people that you would imagine in your ideal 11s or whatever you want to think about. Like, in an ideal world, these ex-players should be playing here and there. But we have to see it all come together first. But it's exciting. It's an exciting time period right now for the USMNT.
Chris Richards is another one. Have to mention him.
Chris Richards.
God love him. It's a lot of people. There's probably more we're missing. It's just there's a lot of key players and also rotation squad players, which
when are we going to see Kevin Sullivan called up?
Man. Pochettino wants to get these guys in. I really think players like Taylor Tessman, Brandon Vasquez are a good addition, especially when you have injuries and things like that. Going up against Mexico, which we can get into eventually. But this lineup and who he's gonna have for this next game, getting to experience all the players. Even though you have your kind of like one or two players, and in the USA, I really think it's just Pulisic is your one guy who's gonna start.
You're nailed on.
So he's got to get a good feel for all these players, no matter what their skill level is, apparent to what the world thinks and where their club level is. He's got to take his own time to look at all these players as individuals against one another, because that's what it comes down to. That's what it comes down to. So we need to just, whoever's the best of the best, Pochettino is going to be the judge of that, and I absolutely trust this man.
I agree, because I think we're going to see a lot of rotation. I don't think we're going to see the same players named every time. Obviously, you're going to have some injuries, some real poor form or whatever, but I think we're going to have some real rotation when we see these call-ups for the next couple of, international breaks. Like next month, I think we're going to see a couple of different additions, a couple of different people that come back from injuries or whatever. Just different group of people that he's going to really be able to say, okay, these are my guys, these are who I'm going to plan with for the future, and hey, if somebody else pops up and they're just playing out of their mind for their club, you know what, they get to call up as well, we'll figure something out. But he's really going to use these next few months really to lay down the groundwork of who's going to be his most dependable players.
I think this game, the game itself against Panama overall, it was a good start.
Yeah.
It was a good start. That's what I would say.
I mean,
2-0 win. It's a good start. Pulisic playing well. On the goals specifically, 2-0 in 48th minute or so, right into the second half. We see the USA, Robinson coming down the field. Yep. Pulisic to Aronson. Little 1-2s in Musa on the end of it to get his first USMNT goal.
Congratulations. We know you're watching. Congratulations, my guy. We've been rooting for you for the last couple of years, and you're really coming through for us now.
You got to.
Like in AC Milan, we know you're still young. You're getting through there. You're figuring it out. But for the US, he's the guy. I really think so. Like, I really think he's going to be the one that overtakes McKinney for that spot.
Eventually,
honestly,
maybe one day. I really see Musa.
He's so versatile.
So it's hard to tell where he's going to be when he's 25, 26. We forget this guy is like 21.
Yeah.
So 21, 20 years old.
20,
something like that. So this he's literally still a kid.
Yeah.
So
he's still figuring it out.
There's still a lot for him to grow into. We'll see what happens. A great goal. 1-0 there. We go on later on, second half. We see some substitutes. Ricardo Pepi obviously comes on, scores a goal. It's looking good. It looks good for him in that fashion. Obviously, a few players did go away from camp with injury. Ricardo Pepi was unfortunately one of them. I really wanted to kind of see him in the
Score against
second
Mexico.
game against Mexico would have been a dream for sure.
Had one shot, one goal, did well to convert. You know, he really has to take the opportunities, and that's what he did. Like Tanner said, it sucks to see him leave. We wanted to see him against Mexico because, you know, having that dual potential, whoever he wanted to go to, I love seeing those players.
That little
score.
extra motivation.
Just to, you know, just let him know.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you hope he's healthy. Hopefully he comes back and he just keeps doing what he did last night.
Exciting stuff going on for the USA. As we said, a 2-0 win over Panama. Looking forward to this Mexico game. I see a few changes, obviously. We're not going to have Pulisic. It's going to be, for a friendly, it's going to be a pretty big game for Pochettino. A friendly against Mexico, in Mexico. The USA's record in Mexico against Mexico is not good at all. I think we have one win in maybe like 1,000 losses or some. Obviously not 1,000, but something ridiculous. Something the record is absolutely insanely in Mexico's favor in Mexico.
Yeah.
So without your star player, it's going to be a big task.
Let's see if we can do it.
I hope we can. I think we can.
I think we will.
Nice.